Hi, I'm Derek. Today we're going to be looking at tightening our spokes, checking for any damage to the wheels, and also checking that we have the correct tyre pressure, and also if we need to replace our tyres. We're just going to check the spokes. What we can do is just find a spot to start. It's usually easy to find the valve, hold that close to us, and then just go around, just kind of flick the spokes almost like a guitar string. And they should have a nice tension to them. You shouldn't be able to wobble them, and they also should make just like a little ring just as you pick them. Okay, here we have a loose spoke. You may be able to see or not that this spoke is loose and has a really dull, flat sound to it. Okay, so we'll just make sure there's no others first. Okay, they all sound pretty good, feel pretty good. So this spoke, we're going to need a spoke wrench, spoke key. You can get these from a bicycle store. Put the spoke key on, and then all you have to do is turn it. After a couple of turns, the spoke will start to come tight again, and you can then just turn it a little bit more. And it should sound and feel the same as the others. Don't over tighten it. And once you've done that, go back and check all the others again to make sure that the tension you put on this one hasn't made a loose one over here. The other thing we can do is just check the pressure, and it's a good idea to have what the recommendation is from the manufacturer. Makes the chair a lot easier to push. This tyre here, it says inflate to 110 PSI, pounds per square inch. Okay, now you don't necessarily need a gauge to measure that. Usually if you can squash the tyre easily with your thumbs, it's too flat. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the valve, and this valve here is called a Presta valve, and it's very good for high pressures. It's a little more complicated than a standard valve, but what you want to do is you want to have one of these adapters. You can get one of these adapters from any local bicycle store. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the cap, and then there's another little brass fitting, and we're going to undo that. And to make it easier for the new air to get into the tube, we're just going to press down on it and make sure that it compresses. If it hasn't been inflated in a long time, that little piece can jam up, and then the new air won't even go in. So then we get a little adapter. Screw that down, not too tight. And then if you're at home, this is the easiest thing to have. It's just a standard bike pump from a bicycle store, a good quality one. They can certainly put in a lot of pressure. And then this one, you click it on, lift up the tab, and then pump it up. I like to hold my other hand on the valve and the spokes so that I don't cause any damage to the valve stem. So we can check. You can see already that that's a lot better. Undo the valve adapter, and then the little thread, tighten the thread down. Doesn't have to be too tight. And then replace the cap. You can see now that I can barely squeeze that down. That'll make the chair a lot easier to push, and it's also a lot better for the tyre when it's inflated. It'll last a lot longer and give you a better ride. Here's an example of a tyre that would need replacing. You can see that on top it still has some tread, but what's happening is the tread is lifting away from the canvas, and this is a tyre that I would replace immediately. Order some new ones, and you probably use it for a few days until the new ones arrive, or go down to a local bike store and get them to replace your tyre. We tend to forget about making sure that our wheels come off, and sometimes if we've been out in the rain, a bit of moisture got in there, they won't come off. So it's always good just to check, every month. This still is removable, and what we can do is just check that the axle still rotates freely that way and also in and out, and that the the pin axle can also come out. If you're ever having any squeaks or noises coming from your wheels, it's worth checking that the bearings still turn. So you can put your finger on it, just give it a turn, and it should be nice and smooth. If you put your finger on there and you turn, it's like click, 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 click. It's time to get new bearings, and you should be able to get that done at a bicycle store or a wheelchair supply company will be able to send you those bearings, and you can take those bearings to the bicycle store. Now I don't usually put any lubrication in here, but what I will do to the pin is just get a rag and a little bit of just WD-40, spray a little bit on the rag, and then just give the axle a wipe. It just adds a tiny little bit of lubrication and keeps it from rusting up. So we can put the pin back in. Thanks for watching, and check out more videos by subscribing to our YouTube channel.